Hey guys, what's up? It's Daniel and welcome to another tutorial in the SAMS 2010 course. Today we're going to be doing project 4 and this is our first introduction to Microsoft PowerPoint. And today this is what we're going to be making. It's a short 4-slide PowerPoint, just so you guys can see what I got on my score, 100 out of 100. So if you do everything I did, you should get that, hopefully. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to the SAMS course website and go to your assignments, and then you're going to click on the project that you're working on, which is you're going to be working on 4, but I've already submitted this project, so I'm just going to click on number 5, which is pretty much the same thing. Then you're going to open up this page, click OK, and then these are your download files. You're going to download the instructions, and there should be 1 or 2 files down here that you download. This is project 5 and it has a couple extra files for some pictures. So once you decide where you want to save these files to, probably in a separate folder on your desktop or on a jump drive, you're going to click your project and you're going to open it. And then you're going to click enable editing, and on the top left you're going to go to file and then save as, and you're going to get this window up, and you're going to decide where you want to save your file to. And also SAM wants you to switch the name of your document, so at the end of this I'm just going to click, and what SAM wants you to do is just get rid of these couple numbers here like that, so it's just my name and then an underscore, and SAM wants me to put a 2 there, and the 2 goes there because SAM needs that to recognize the file when you go back and resubmit it. So once you've done that and you've decided where you want to save it, just press save and it'll save it to your computer. Okay, so the first thing it asks you to do is to verify that your name appears in the slide notes below the first slide. So that's this thing down here, and it says this file was created for Daniel Michael, do not delete, blah 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 blah. And once you see that, your name should be there, and these numbers, don't even worry about that down there. You're not going to be touching it or using it. So once you've done that, it asks us to create our first slide. So we already have our first blank slide, and what it asks us to do is to change the theme of the presentation to aspect. So up on the top we're going to go to design, and once you do that you'll notice all these different colored themes come up, and I'm not sure if the one I want is up there. Maybe it's that one. Yeah, it looks like that one. So I'm gonna click that one, but if yours isn't right there, just click this down arrow over here in the right hand corner, and it'll drop down and show you all of the different themes that Microsoft PowerPoint offers you. So we want aspect, which is this one. As you can see, I left my mouse hovering over top of it and it shows aspect, so I'm going to select that one. And it says on slide 1, enter the text and title and subtitle shown in figure 1. So you guys are going to look at figure 1. I'm just going to look at my example because I've already done this and I don't have figure 1. And it looks like we have hit the books, studying for an exam, Sarah Jones. And when you do this, make sure you type it word for word because SAMS will mark it wrong if you misspell one tiny little thing. So it's really important that you spell it word for word. And no, you can't copy and paste. But just be sure to spell it out just the way it is, alright? The way I'm getting all this in here is I'm just clicking. You just click where you want the title to go and this box will come up. That's where you're going to be typing. So we want to type in hit the books first with a capital H and a capital B, and then I'm going to click down beneath this box and it's going to take me to the next box, which is the subtitle box. This is the title box and the subtitle box is what's underneath it. And then I want to type Sarah Jones underneath that, so I'm just going to hit enter and I'm going to type her name. And don't copy my words exactly for what you're doing, because I'm not going to be really focusing on my spelling because I'm not submitting this, but you should double check all your spelling, so just don't copy me word for word. Alright, so once we've got our title and subtitle, just like figure 1, it wants us to italicize the name Sarah Jones. So I'm going to go to Sarah Jones and I'm going to highlight it, which I do by clicking behind the very last letter and holding, and then just dragging my mouse across the name to the front. And once I've done that, I'm going to go to Home, and up here underneath the font there's an I, and I'm going to press that, and it's going to italicize the name. The next step says increase the font size of the title paragraph, hit the books to 48. So I'm going to do the same thing, highlight it, and I'm going to go up to this font size up here, and there's a little arrow right to the right of it. I'm going to click it, and it's going to drop down into this menu, and in here I'm going to find 48, and I'm going to click that, and now that font size has been changed to 48. Next step says increase the font size of the first paragraph of the subtitle, studying for an exam, to 28. So same thing, I'm going to highlight the first part of the subtitle and go up to my font size again, click the down arrow, and find 28. Select it, and it's going to change that part. On slide 1, insert a clip art of your choice from Microsoft Clip Organizer. Position the clip so that it is towards the left side of the slide. Resize if necessary. So what it wants me to do is it wants me to insert a clip art. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to the top left and click the insert menu, and that's going to take me to this menu. Under that I'm going to find the clip art button, and I'm going to click it. It also says that the picture shown in your example, that one of the girl studying, is available, but you guys might have a problem finding it if you don't have this box clicked. So make sure when you come up here to this left corner that this box that says include office.com content has that check mark in there, because if it doesn't like that, you're not going to be able to have that picture. So click that and you should have full access to all of the online content that Microsoft has for you. So I'm just going to type, I think, just studying girl, and hopefully she'll pop up somewhere. Right there she is. So I'm going to double click on that, and it kind of pops out of the page, which might happen to some of you. It might not happen to all of you, but when we do that, when it does that, you just want to come up here to the right, and that's where it says you know, resize if necessary. That's what we're going to do now because it's way too big. So up on the right, I'm just going to use these little arrows on the height, and I'm going to click down, and it's going to squeeze it down. I just clicked and held the down arrow, and it kind of just mushed it down for me. And it said position it to the left, towards the left side of the, yeah, okay, so that's about right. And I can look at my example and see that it's pretty close to where it was. It's a little bit smaller, but I'm not going to make a big deal about it because Sam will just, as long as it's in this general area of the slide, Sam will count it right. It doesn't have to be exactly to the right coordinates. So to get rid of the clip art, this section over here that we brought up, because it's kind of in my way now, I'm going to click this little X up on the top that says close, right in the clip art menu. So once I do that, that'll just fall away, and I can go back to that anytime I want. But for now, it wants us to create slide 2 with a title and content layout. So what I'm going to do now is click just beneath over here on the slide menu. I'm going to click just beneath this slide, and notice this black line comes up, and that means that I'm ready to create my new slide. So what I do is I just click enter, okay, and what that does is just makes the slide for you automatically. And when I do this, it's going to automatically do a title and content layout. If that's not the case for you, what you're going to do is once you've created this slide, you're going to go up to layout up here on the homes menu, and down here you're going to click the arrow next to layout, and it's going to take you to a drop down menu, and there's all these different ones you can pick from, and you're going to click title and content, and that will change the way your slide looks. So it says add the title and bulleted list shown in figure 2. So look at figure 2 and add that. Alright, now here's the trick with these bulleted lists. I found this is the easiest way for me to do this. So what I did was I typed location out, the first one. The slide was just blank, just like this. So I click and type location. And now I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to do what's under location, which was quiet and well lit. So I'm going to type that, and it's going to take me down. And once I've done that, I'm going to hit enter again, and it's going to want timing. So I'm copying and pasting, but don't do that because, like I said earlier, it'll mark it as wrong. You guys have to type it out, but I'm just doing this for an example. So keep going until you have the whole list just like this. Just keep pressing enter until you have each individual line. And once you finish typing all of them, it should look like this. Okay, now you'll notice on your example that it has location and then it has quiet and well lit, and the quiet and well lit is inside of location, and it also has this open circle bullet. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. Now once you've typed your list out like this, all I have to do to make it go like that one that we see in the example is click in the front of the one I want to change and click tab, and you'll notice when I do that it moves to the inside of location. It kind of goes a little bit smaller, the point size does, and it also inserts this circular open bullet. So to make your list look like the one on the example, that's what you do. I found that the easiest way to do it. So it's just every other line. I click at the beginning, press tab, click at the beginning and press tab, and now I have my list just the way it looks on the example. So once I've created my bulleted list, I'm just going to go down here and type in what it said for the title, which is prepare in advance. Again, I'm just going to copy and paste it, but you guys can do it. It doesn't matter what order you do it in. You can do this one first and then the bulleted list. I just decided to do the bulleted list first because it was more complicated. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is insert another clip art from the Microsoft Clip Organizer, and it says position the clip so that it's towards the right side of the right side of the slide. You may choose to resize the width of your text so that it stays on the left half of the slide, but this is not required. So I'm going to go back up to the insert menu on the top, and I'm going to click clip art. And again, this menu is going to pop up, and I'm going to look for that pointing finger, and it tells you guys in your instructions a hint to type in up top here to get the exact same images. I seem to have misplaced that hint, so I don't know exactly what it says, but you guys can see how to do it anyway. Once you type in that hint up here, it should pop up in one of these, and then when you find it, you just double click on it and it will pop up on your screen. And it might not be as big as that. I'm just choosing that one because I can't find the other ones. So again, you can resize it if you want. If not, and it's an okay size, then you can just click and drag it to the correct position. So I'm just again resizing it with these tools up on the top right in the height and width arrows, and it kind of wants it closer to that. And the way I'm moving it around is once I leave my mouse over top of the picture, it turns to these double arrows, and I click and hold, and then that lets me drag it wherever I want. And once I let go, that's where the picture is going to go. So I'm going to leave it right about there So there's the one that you should have if you want. If not, it says it doesn't matter. It says clip art of your choice. So I chose that one, so that is right. So this is what your final clip, or the final part of your second slide should look like. Again, I'm going to exit out of this clip art menu so I can see the whole slide. You can choose to have that specific picture or not. It doesn't matter. SAMs won't count it wrong if it is something different, but the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make our third slide. So I'm going to click underneath the second slide now, and again that flashing black line is going to come up, and I'm going to hit enter, and it says create slide 3 with the title and content layout, add the title and bulleted list shown in figure 3. So I can already see by this layout that it's title and content. You might not be able to recognize that yet, but to check you can go up to the layout again and click the arrow next to it, and it'll show you. If it's on something else, you can click title and content, because you know, sometimes it'll look like this and it'll have different layouts. That's what your layout does, it switches it. So you want the title and content which looks like that. And then it says add the title and bulleted list text shown in figure 3. So let's look at figure 3 and add the text shown. Okay, now this is going to be a little bit easier. I'm going to type day of exam. Whoa, that was not exam. That was whammy wham or something like that. And now I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to do that tab trick again because I'm not going to have another title bullet, as they call it, I think. I'm just going to have these under bullets. So I'm going to hit tab, and it's going to bring it in again and give me that little open bullet, and then I'm going to type the rest of it just the same way. So once I type rest properly, I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to take it right back to that same spot, and I'm going to type the next one. And once I've done that, I'm going to hit it again. It's going to take me down to that next spot, and I'm going to continue to do that until I have all the bulleted lists that the example shows. So after I have my whole bulleted list out, just like this, I have the next thing it asks me to do is to resize and reposition the bulleted list so that it's near the center of the slide. Then insert 2 clips. Alright, so here's the tricky part about this centering it near the slide. What you're going to do is you're going to highlight all of your bulleted lists. So I'm going to click behind content at the very end of the T, and I'm going to click and hold and drag all the way up to where it says day of exam, the beginning of day of exam. And up in the paragraph section under the home tab, I'm going to click align text, and beside the align text there's a little arrow on the right, and it takes me down to a drop down menu, and it's not going to be right here, but what I click is more options at the very bottom of that drop down menu, and it's going to open up this second page. And when it does that, it says vertical alignment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click the down arrow next to that, and then I get my different options that tell me what I can do. So it wants it close to the center of the slide. So on my example, I can see that it's at the top of the slide. It still starts at the top, and it's going to be in the center. So I'm going to select top centered, and when I click that, you'll notice that my bullets list completely moves from the left side to the center, just like we want it, like so. And make sure again that when you do that, everything moves with it. If something didn't move, it's because you didn't have it highlight. So make sure you have all of it highlight, and then once that happens, it should be just the way it was in the center of the page. So now that we've done that, it asks us to insert 2 clips of your choice from the Microsoft Clip Organizer so that there is a clip on both sides of the text as shown in figure 6. So let's look at figure 6. Figure 6 should look something like this. So I'm just going to go into the insert tab, and I'm going to type this out real quick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to here to insert. I'm going to click clipart just like we did earlier, and I'm just going to click this one. So once I insert the picture, you can pick any one you want. Their hints are there if you want to pick the same ones that the exam has, which are these two, then you can. I don't really care though, because this is just an example. But to do that, you would just type in the hint again up here where I typed finger. So you just type in that hint that they give you, and then you would scroll through and select the picture that is on that menu. And once you do that, you resize it by using the arrows, or you can type it in, whatever you want to do. And I'm just going to put it something. I'm going to look at my example, and in doing that I can see that it is kind of like here. Alright, and the other one is on the other side, right underneath the S of clothes. So I'll take this one and I'll resize it. Dominoes, looks like, and something close like that. And like I said, it doesn't have to be the exact same. Sam's won't grade you wrong if that looks like that, so I'm going to exit out of that so you can see what I have. That's just what I have. You can have different pictures. It's not that big of a deal. Either way is correct, and just get it in the same general area as the example you have in front of you, which should look something like this. Alright, now that we've finished... Oh, wait a minute, we're not done yet. It says on slide 3, change the font color of the words "Be Confident" to yellow. Color 4 in the standard colors row. Okay, so this is easy. What it wants is for us to change "Be Confident" to this yellow color. So I'm going to go back over to my original one, and I'm going to highlight "Be Confident." And when I do that, I'm going to go up to this A with the red line underneath it, and that's going to open up my font color. I'm going to click the right to the right of it where the arrow is. It's going to drop down into this color menu, and it wants yellow, which is right there on the very bottom in the standard colors. Like they said, number 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's yellow. So I'm going to click that, and it's going to change it yellow, as you can see. And I don't want that bullet list there, so that should finish off slide 3. So create the closing slide by duplicating slide 1 and delete the name Sarah Jones. Okay, so what I'm going to do, this is actually pretty simple. I'm going to go back to my very first slide because that's the one we want duplicated. To do, you can switch from slide to slide just by clicking on the ones in the side menu where the slides are, or you can use the scroll on your mouse, and that will also drag them up just like that. So I want the very first slide, and I'm going to right click on it, and underneath that there's a button that says duplicate slide. So I'm going to hit that, and now you'll notice that I have 2 slides of the very first page. And what it wants me to do is it wants me to create the closing slide. So what I'm going to do is on this second one that I just created, which is the very same as the first one, you see there's no difference. I'm just picking the second one. I'm going to click and hold it as if I was going to move it like the picture we did earlier, and I'm going to drag it below, and you'll see when I do this, this little blue line pops up right there. And if I was to move it like that, the blue line would pop up right there, and that's showing me at what point I'm dragging this slide to. So I want it at the very last slide. So I'm going to go under here to 4, and you see where that blue line is? That's where that slide's going to go now. So I'm going to let go of the mouse because I've been holding it this whole time, and when I do that, you'll see that it moves that duplicated slide to the very end. So make sure you're confident with doing that. It's easy. You just click and hold the slide, and you can move it to wherever you want, like so. But again, we do want it at the very end. So it's a very easy technique. It's the correct way of doing it. Don't let it freak you out. All right. So now that we have got our duplicated slide in the very last section, it wants us to delete the name Sarah Jones. So I'm going to click in the subtitles box and I'm going to delete that name just by pressing backspace and replacing the image with a new clip. So to do that, I'm going to click on the image and you'll see when I click on it this border comes up, and I'm just going to hit the delete key with on the keyboard, and that's going to get rid of that image. So once that image is deleted, just by pressing the delete key on my keyboard, which is kind of just to the left or just to the right center, it says DEL for delete. I don't know how computer savvy you guys are. That image is going to disappear. And to get a new one, I'm going to go back up to clipart and I'm going to select a new slide. So the sparkler, okay. And I'm going to resize it same way we did before, and I'm going to drag it into that position, maybe a little bit bigger since I'm not all the way over here, like so. Again, it says replace the slide with, or replace the image with a new clip, and then move the slide to the end of the presentation. So I did that step a little earlier when I showed you how to move it towards the end. Either way is fine. You can do all this work first, just having the slide up here, like so. And so that's my second slide now. But what I did was I just duplicated the slide, moved it down, and then I started working on it, which is what I like to do. You can do it either way. It's not going to mess it up as long as everything that's in this last part of the questions is done to this slide, and this slide is at the very end of your 4 slides. So so we have our new image, we deleted the name Sarah, and our duplicated slide is at the very end of our presentation. So the last thing we have to do is to apply the uncover transition in the subtle category to all slides. So it wants me to add a transition, so I'm going to go up to here where this transitions button is, and I'm going to click it. So up here are all my different transitions, and it wants me to do the uncover transition, but it wants it done to all the slides. So first of all, if you don't see this uncover, which is right here for me, if you don't see that in the very top, again, you can click this down arrow and there's a whole bunch of different transitions you can pick from. Just find uncover. But first, before you do that, before you actually select it, you're going to want to apply it to all the slides. So the easiest way I found to do it, there's a couple different ways. The easiest way I found to do it is to select the last slide, which is number 4, and you'll see when it's selected it has that kind of orangish colored outline around it. And then on my keyboard I'm gonna click or press and hold shift, and then I'm gonna move my mouse up to the first one and click the first slide. And when I do that, I can let go of shift now, and you'll notice that all of my slides are selected now. So now that they're all selected, when I click this transition, it's going to add them to all of these slides, like so. And when I do that, you'll see these little tiny like shooting star sign that comes up on all of them, and that means that that transition is on all of the slides. And if you don't see that come up, then you did something wrong. So now that we have this transition applied to all of these slides, you should see these signs on each slide, these little star signs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these selected right now. I'm going to leave all of them selected, and I haven't clicked on anything else. If I click on anything else, it's going to unselect them, so I haven't clicked on anything because it asks me to change the duration of the transition to 1.25. So under my transitions menu, still over on the right corner there's a button that says duration, and beside that there's these little arrows and the duration speed, and the duration is going to be at like how fast one slide transitions to another, how fast you see the transition, and it wants it at 1.25. So I can either use these arrows here, or I'm just going to type it in just like so, 1.25, and then I'm going to click enter. And nothing will change, like visually you won't see any change at the moment, but you'll notice when you're actually playing through your slideshow that these slides do transition just a little bit longer, still appropriate speed, but again, you can switch the duration of your transitions up here using these arrows or typing it in. So now that we're all done, I'm going to go to review real quick, and I'm going to type spelling, and it says spelling is checked and complete, so hopefully it says that with you. If it brings up a word, make sure you go back to where that word was in the example and double check it. Nothing was spelled incorrectly on mine. To watch your slideshow, if you want, you don't have to. On the top, you're going to go to slideshow, and over on the left there's a button that says from beginning, and when you click that, it's going to start your slideshow. And it's not going to roll through it, but you can use the arrows on your key to change slides. So I'm going to type the right arrow, and there's that transition that's set to 1.25 seconds, and it takes me to the next slide. And I'm going to type the right arrow again, and I can go back if I want by hitting the left arrow, and you can see that nice transition. And there's my pictures and my yellow be confident, my bulleted list, and that is the end of your slideshow. So I hope that this helped, and if it did, you can help me out a little bit by subscribing and liking the video. Also, I don't just do tutorials in Sam's course. If there's something specific you want to learn in any of the Microsoft programs, or computers, or whatever it is, I make videos on everything. So just send me a message if you want, and I'll be happy to do my best to try to make a video for you if I have the knowledge. But good luck with your submitting it, and I'll see you guys next time.